Catholic Church of Sierra Leone, aged 66. Funeral arrangements will be announced later. Sympathizers may call at his residence, 12 Lower Allentown, McKinney Compound by Colatry, Freetown, or call on mobile numbers 031 942 703 or 031 277 242. May his soul rest in perfect peace. The death is reported of Reverend Chancellor Mrs. Rosemary Sento Dean Fatoma, who died on the 11th of July at Tongola New Site, Tongo Fields, Kenema District, aged 56. She is survived by her husband, Mr. Edward Musa Fatoma, mother Matilda S. Bonge, children Sonia Sabra, James, Emmanuel Fatoma Sr., Jacob, Israel Fatoma, several grandchildren, brothers, sisters, uncles, and aunts at home and abroad. A vigil will be held at her residence in Kalau City compound in Tongo Fields from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday the 19th of July, followed by a funeral service on Sunday the 20th of July at 8 a.m. at the New Harvest Global Ministry International, Wima, Tongo Fields. Burial at her residence in Kalau City compound, Tongola New Site, Tongo Fields. Sympathizers may call on 032 797 851, 077 733 960, and 031 444 394, or call at Kalau City, Tongola New Site. May her soul rest in perfect peace. The Tijan Cole, Raman, and Keru families announced the death of Mrs. Sylvia Patricia Slbc Tijan Cole, formerly of 19 Babadori Drive, Grassfield, Lumley. She was an active member of the St. Joseph's Old Girls Association and the respected past president of Ladies Auxiliary, Sacred Hearts Cathedral. She died on Saturday the 5th of July, aged 90. She is survived by her husband, Mr. Mohamed Remuleku Tijan Cole, former Deputy Governor, Bank of Sierra Leone. Children Olu Tijan Cole, Aisha Johansson, Mohamed and Ashmau Tijan Cole, Abiodu Madi, Lambratuk Benkakoka, and Jibrila Pine Cole in Denmark. Brother and sister Peter Thess in Switzerland and Heidi Thess in Germany. Several nephews and nieces, in-laws, cousins, relatives, and friends at home and abroad. There will be a vigil at St. Anthony's Church, Brookfields, on Thursday the 17th of July from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Laying out is at the Church Hall on Friday the 18th of July at 10:45 a.m. Funeral service will be held at St. Anthony's Church, Brookfields, on Friday the 18th of July at 1 p.m. Burial at the Ascension Town Cemetery. May her soul rest in perfect peace.
God loved the world so that he gave his only son, the
The death is reported of former Honorable Ibrahim Conte of 81A King George Avenue, Kisi Dockyard. He died on Sunday the 6th of July, aged 67. He is survived by his wife, Mrs. Haja Conte, children Isata Conte, Mrs. Sawana Tukabo, Mrs. Brianna to Bamba, Memuna to Conte, Mohamed Conte and Brian Conte, in-laws Idrissa Kagbo and Ibrahim Bamba, several brothers, sisters, 5 grandchildren, cousins, nephews, nieces, close friends, and other relatives at home and abroad. The body will be laid out at the APC party headquarters on Thursday the 17th of July and later be conveyed to Kalia Town. Burial will take place at the village cemetery on Friday the 18th of July. Sympathizers may call at 81A King George Avenue, Kisi Dockyard, or call on 034 518 854, 079 029601 or 077493
How does thy face now lay?
A place cannot produce poems. It can only not prevent them. And Freetown is good at that, for Freetown has its own sudden elegances. People are slow to leave it, quick to return. And there are others who come for a year or two and stay for a lifetime, sensing that they found a city that is in the world.
I'm so confused. Tell me what's happened. So many voices in my head, but he told me that this day will come. Tell me, have I done enough? Yet to be. Now my book's gone and closed. All my deeds are for show. So I lie here and wait for that day. I'm so scared of Munkiranaki. Oh, Allah, get me through this test. Ya Ilahi, please forgive me. I need you. Ya Ilahi, I know this day will come one day, but it's come too soon.
Many people have described the late Dr. Kadi Sesay as a woman of substance and a woman of grace. But I will venture to put her on a much higher pedestal. Kadi epitomized the apogee of both grace and substance. In many respects, she was exceptional. Her determination and to see this country uplifted in development could not be surpassed for generations to come. So in a very special sense, Kadi's loss is a great loss to this country, a great loss, of course, to her family, and to many friends across the country and across the world. She was just that exceptional of a woman, and we will mourn her in our hearts for many years to come.
Alright, can you reflect on your encounter with her and specifically those times, what stood out as from other normal or other women?
She epitomized leadership in the true sense of the word, the kind of leadership we aspire to see for our country. It was a pity that when she ran as running mate to His Excellency, the current President, in 2012, contrary to what we had expected, the women of this country did not really vote for our party at the time, which was astonishing because I expected women to support their colleague woman aspiring for high office, but it didn't happen. And I always remind myself that Kadi could have made us in this country an exceptional leader in the presidency of this country. Frankly, I don't think it would be an exaggeration to say she's the best.
Well, I'm Nimata Magix Walker. I'm the founder and first president of the 50-50 group of Sierra Leone. I was fortunate enough to know Dr. Kadi Sesay from as early as when we were students at the Maboka Secondary School for Girls. People I used to refer to her as my Feje. I don't know whether you people know what Feje means, but she was my very, very close friend. And I was also friendly with her husband, her late husband, Mahmoud Sesay. I know her children, Aisha and Mahmoud. And in fact, I was the MC when Mahmoud got married in Freetown. I was that close to Kadi Sesay.
Wow. So tell us about your encounter with her. What can you say stood out for Dr. Kadi Sesay from her life, her legacy, particularly her contributions to this country?
Well, from her, the first impression you get of Kadi Sesay is that she's a very brilliant woman. Very, very brilliant. Not as loud as some of us, but she exhibited quiet brilliance. When she opened her mouth, everybody listened, even though she didn't speak as loudly as I would. You understand what I mean? She was very, very dynamic, very brilliant, very overconfident, very ambitious. I can remember one of her lecturers remarking that when they gave the class assignments to do, instead of doing one out of the three, she did all three and presented them, to show you how ambitious Kadi was. She was also a fashionista. I tried to dress up like her, but I found it very difficult. It's difficult to match Kadi. Kadi was a wonderful person.
Particularly as a president.
In fact, you should start from her role as when she worked for UNHCR. Okay. You know, I would say that she played a very powerful role in planting the seeds of democracy in the hearts and minds of Sierra Leoneans. As chair of the National Commission for Democracy, it's NCD, right? And human rights. She led with quiet strength and deep conviction during one of Sierra Leone's most fragile moments, following the brutal civil war. That was when she shone brightest, because she was able to preach democracy, and she was able to convince the women of Sierra Leone that it is important to participate actively in the development of the country.
Tell me what's happened. So many voices in my head, but it told me that this day will come. Tell me how.
A pleasant good morning to you and a warm welcome to News Hour. I am Esther Sako. Coming up, Chinese embassy hands over motorbikes to Judiciary of Sierra Leone. An innovative organization, Creative Hub Africa Sierra Leone, empowers young entrepreneurs to solve existing social challenges. And Motome community gets first primary school. These stories and many more are lined up in this edition of News Hour. Stay with us. Welcome back. We'll begin with one of our top stories. The Chinese ambassador to Sierra Leone, Wang King, has handed over motorbikes to the Judiciary of Sierra Leone at a law court building in Freetown. The gift was meant to facilitate access to justice in Sierra Leone. Mohammed Koma reports.
The donation of 6 motorbikes by the Chinese ambassador to Sierra Leone, Wang King, was a direct response to a prior engagement between the Chinese ambassador and the Chief Justice Combat Commander, who enlisted challenges faced by the judiciary in its pursuit to ensure access to justice, including difficulties to access hard-to-reach areas. According to Ambassador Wang King, the donation of the motorbikes was meant to strengthen the bilateral ties between Sierra Leone and the People's Republic of China.
Today, I'm here to hand over 6 motorbikes to judiciary from this country. And I hope this can help increase the capacity building of the judiciary in this country to help increase the access to some remote area.
While receiving the gift, Chief Justice Combat Commander appreciated the Chinese ambassador for the support, assuring that the motorbikes would be utilized judiciously.
This donation is very significant because when I took up office, one of my major reforms has to be access to justice. I met with the Chinese embassy, with the ambassador, and then they hear my reforms and told him that access to justice is one of the cornerstones of my reform.
Sierra Leone and the People's Republic of China continue to enjoy healthy relationship across different sectors, including in education and health. For SLBC, Mohammed Koma reporting.
20 young entrepreneurs have exhibited their innovative skills and business ideas aimed at solving existing social challenges. The demonstration, which was done by 20 entrepreneurs, was as a result of a transformative 6-month pilot program undertaken by an innovative organization, Creative Hub Africa Sierra Leone, in a bid to empower particularly young women to thrive. Our reporter, Christina Kama, has more on that story.
The Digital Development Program, currently implemented by Creative Hub Africa, aims to support between 3,000 to 5,000 startup businesses across the country. The program is designed to capacitate startup businesses owned by young entrepreneurs, especially women. A 6-month transformative capacity building training held for 20 of the 50,000 selected businesses as the pilot phase has proven to be successful. Mariama Fatima Koma is one of the beneficiaries who use recycling waste materials, especially tires, to address issues of air pollution, climate change, and waste management. Noted that the Digital Development Program has expanded our knowledge on our trade.
It's been benefiting me everywhere because just imagine my community was toxic. Let me just say a year back, and now we have sorted that out list of tires. Mind you, those tires also cause mosquitoes. It is harmful for the system. If water goes in there, mosquitoes sit on it and it becomes bad in the body and its impact it is very bad. So we thought it's going to collect and recycle them. We repurpose them, their functionality, that I could find the materials, they can be used everywhere. In room, parlors, restaurants, bar, they can be said to be everywhere.
Another inspiring story came from Vandy Kone, CEO of Eco Design Innovation. He shared his company's mission to combat climate change and deforestation in Sierra Leone by transforming agricultural waste into sustainable products. He reiterated that the program has created a platform that enabled them to contribute to national development and engage on a global scale.
Eco Design Innovations is an entity that is here towards climate change, thereby fighting against deforestation in Sierra Leone. We actually utilize agricultural waste which are being dumped in community resulting to pollution. We transform these agricultural waste, such as palm kernel shell, sawdust, rice husks, cassava peels, into sustainable, eco-friendly briquette that can be used in business places, homes, and any other places to produce heat and energy for consumption.
CEO and founder of Creative Hub Africa Sierra Leone, Aissatou Harrison, disclosed that the program is dedicated to empowering startups by enhancing their formalization processes, fostering digitalization, and improving business development, financial literacy, and marketing strategies.
It's a project called the Digital Inclusion Program, and our partners are the European Union, UNDP, ILO, and the government of Sierra Leone. And for the Digital Inclusion Program, that's one of our flagship programs. We're targeting 5,000 businesses, of which we're looking at 3,000 informal. And out of these 5,000 businesses, 70% of them will be female businesses. And today is the graduation, I would say, of the first 20 that we've piloted.
Program Officer for Private Sector Development and Trade at the European Union to Sierra Leone, Yanis Malsovas, said the ultimate goal is to empower Sierra Leone entrepreneurs to become active participants in global digital and creative economy. Both Assistant Director of Industrial Development at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Janet Sesay, and Geotechnical Specialist at the United Nations, Richard Mozinguzi, stressed the importance of ongoing investment in digital skills, mentorship, and access for Sierra Leone's innovators, and encourage entrepreneurs to seize more opportunities available through the ministry, including the potential for free exportation of their products. The Digital Development Program, which is funded by the European Union, the International Labour Organization, and the United Nations Development Program, was organized to capacitate young entrepreneurs with innovative skills. SLBC News are in Freetown. Christian Akama reporting.
Government, under the Free Quality Education Program, has constructed St. Paul Junior Secondary School in Motome community with support from the World Bank. This first secondary school to ever exist in that locality has adequate teaching and learning materials to enhance quality education. Esther Suzanette Bassi reports.
So this structure for it to be used for the benefit of the children. So I want to hand them over to you.
The newly built St. Paul Junior Secondary School in Motome community in the western area rural was a dream come true for residents. Motome only has hosted a primary school, leaving many children in the community and its surroundings with limited access to junior secondary education. Having the first secondary school now in the locality has bridged the gap to access secondary education. The building is fully equipped with modern classroom furniture and learning materials. It stands as a beacon of hope for families who are still recovering from the 2017 mudslide disaster that devastated the area. Ministers of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Conrad Saki, and Resident Minister Western Area, Adekule King, recalled that the community was severely affected by the 2017 mudslide. They said the addition of a junior secondary school now provides a vital educational pathway for pupils within the area and surrounding communities.
Basic dignity that a child deserves in a learning space. Today, that changes. These classrooms will absorb the pressure. These wash facilities will protect their health. And this community will finally breathe easier. To our teachers.
So please ensure that you take good care of this building so that future generations can enjoy the benefits you're going to enjoy from it today.
Project Coordinator for Equality Education, Ambrose Sesay, said the school would not only enhance educational opportunities, but would also contribute to long-term community rebuilding and development.
92 classrooms that will be handed over. And they are not just empty structures, they are well furnished. You can see this state-of-the-art furniture, good and can stand the test of time for kids to comfortably sit in classroom. You know, this community was badly hit by the mudslide, and they are struggling to have junior secondary school. Now we've given them junior secondary school, so kids around this community can comfortably come to school and go back early instead of going a long distance.
School authorities, local leaders and residents have expressed gratitude for the timely intervention, noting that such a move would benefit generations yet unborn.
I don't know how to express my joy. You know, I'm so excited to be part of this significant occasion. And as a principal, I'm so excited because we are nurturing the young minds.
Even as everyone is celebrating this good news, maintaining the infrastructure is crucial. For SLBC News, Esther Suzanette Bassi reporting.
Delegates of the 2025 National Elective Congress of the Sierra Leone People's Party in the Northwest region have endorsed Jimmy Batilo Songa's candidacy for national chairman for their party. These endorsements came during the launch of Jimmy Batilo Songa's campaign in the region. Emmanuel Samuel went along and compiled this report.
The welcoming of Jimmy Batilo Songa in the northwestern region that comprises of Cambia, Puploko and Kainet district was warm as the people danced with unending smiles and laughter. Small in number, but they are the delegates that will be representing hundreds of SLPP party supporters in the northwest region at the party's 2025 National Elective Congress. What was initially planned to be campaign in each of the districts in the region transformed into an endorsement ceremony.
The regional chairman said the three districts of the Northwest region will publicly endorse Jimmy.
Even in the midst of the endorsement, Jimmy Batilo Songa stole the attention of the delegates where he presented his manifesto to the people. Batilo Songa told the people that his ambition, as inscribed in his manifesto, is transforming the SLPP into a strong institution that will cater for the needs and wants of the SLPP party supporters.
So, what we need now, now somebody where they put in office for make sure say the good things that we need to do for rich women people.
Having listened to his message, the delegates and especially the SLPP Northwest Region Party Chairman, Ambassador Umaru Bondwoy, expresses confidence in Batilo, looking at the critical roles he played in getting the party to where it is today.
This is the man we build the SLPP in London, Northern Ireland. Me, I will tell him, I say, we don't have to ask for any promise because this man will think for we.
Even though campaigning for the second highest seat of the party, Batilo Songa told the people that he is not only coming to advocate for the welfare of the party members, rather he is also coming as a unifying force to unite all factions under the green flag of the SLPP, thereby building on the gains of the leader who is President Bio, and with a mission to sustain his legacy by ensuring that their party maintains power even after the 2028 elections. Emmanuel Samoa, SLBC.
The African Human Capital Development Plus, in collaboration with the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, has hosted an education advocacy dinner in Kono District. The engagement, which targeted the chairman, Kono District Council, Council of Paramount Chiefs, school leaders and community stakeholders, was intended to reflect on the gains made so far in education in Kono. From Kono District, Dawda Kama sent us this report.
The Chief Executive Officer, African Human Capital Development Plus, Finda Kuroma, reiterated her organization's mission to support the government in increasing investment in human capital development through better systems, strong institutions, and evidence-based development. She expressed her appreciation to the government for the free education program, which she noted has created massive access to education for children across the country and contributed to breaching the gender parity in basic education. The Human Capital Development Plus CEO told the gathering that Sierra Leone is currently ranked 157 on the Human Capital Index, which she said was not good for the country. Madam Kuroma called on government and other partners to work with her organization to scale up issues around human capital development. Madam Kuroma also told the Kono people that ECOWAS has agreed to provide huge amounts of money for the construction of a clinic with modern facilities at the Kono University of Science and Technology and construct a factory that will produce sanitary pads for the girls.
Our mission is to support governments in increasing investments in human capital development through better systems, stronger institutions, and evidence-based development. Education stands at the center of that mission. We know that when a child walks into a classroom, they carry not only a school bag, but the aspirations of the family, a village, and a nation. We commend the government of Sierra Leone for the free quality school education program launched in 2018. It has significantly increased access to education for children across the country.
Launching the Education Advocacy Dinner, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education said the platform has created direct contact points with stakeholders and leaders in education in the district. Colonel Saki said the partnership with the African Human Capital Development on the Made in Advocacy Dinner has triggered feedback from stakeholders and lauded the initiative of the African Human Capital Development Plus for its support towards education in the district. The minister said the government has secured funds to engage school dropouts into the education system. He called on school leaders to support government to strengthen and provide access to education for every child in Sierra Leone.
The Human Capital Development Plus does very well is the use of evidence in decision making and in practice. So that's an area where we have slightly some challenges, and working with them will improve our collaborative efforts. So, for example, she did mention the fact that Sierra Leone does not do very well in some international indicators. I don't think that Sierra Leone doesn't do well. I think we have a challenge reporting the good things that we are doing.
The Regent Chief of Kamawa Chiefdom, Kono District, Charles Kui, also lauded the initiative of the Education Advocacy Dinner and discussing issues of education in the district.
A World Bank report on Sierra Leone's agricultural sector risk assessment has revealed that approximately $128 million, or 3.5% of the country's GDP, is estimated to be a value of average annual agricultural losses resulting from unmanaged production risk in Sierra Leone. These findings came out at the launch of the report by the World Bank in Freetown. Ibrahim Samori tells us more.
This is hereby launched to the Sierra Leone Agricultural Sector Risk Assessment Report.
According to the report findings, the estimate of production losses suggests that the agricultural sector is vulnerable to losses exceeding 15% of agricultural gross production value in 1 out of every 3 years on average, due to unmanaged risks, pointing out rice followed by cassava were the two crops mostly vulnerable to production risks in relation to total losses. Adetunde Oredip is the senior agriculture economist, World Bank.
The frequency of certain things happening and the kind of loss that this can generate, and in terms of both tonnage and the value of such losses. So rice come number one at risk. And if our number one food item in the country is at risk, then we can say the system needs some help.
This report was compiled by the World Bank with extensive analysis of crop and livelihood production, rice, and meteorological data records between 2003 to 2022. The findings were intended to support government in the development of a risk management action plan and for disaster risk financing investments. The report assessed the production, market, and the enabled environmental risks in the country's agriculture sector. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Henry Musa Parker, accepted the findings captured in the report, noting with his engagement with farmers across the country, cited those risks as a major challenge to them and the sector.
We are beginning to take concrete steps, some of them head-on, to the challenges that have been identified. So in our strategy, we've been very much keen not to do everything. So we prioritize a few things. We have also, for some of these value chains, identified hubs where we want government to put and concentrate investments in infrastructure. By the way, this will be both a production or market risk that I often see, and I see this all the time. I have seen farmers in these 2 years, or even the 5 years I've been in the States, they will start really enthusiastically, start with like say 5 hectares of production. Do well, hit the average, and then above average, and then time comes for them to push it to market. They don't have a road, they don't have a storage. Well, first of all, it comes to harvest, they have a problem with that.
The World Bank country manager, Abud Mwangej, underscored the need to continue the conversations to addressing and manage risks identified by the report affecting the agricultural sector and leveraging on research and data. Series of recommendations were preferred, not limited to expanding and enhance early warning systems and climate information system, promote sustainable water management adapted to farming systems, encouraging private sector involvement and strengthen the development and distribution systems for improved seed varieties, among others. Ibrahim Samara, Freetown.
Sierra Leone is committed to the Gonats Declaration's pledge to take the lead with other partner organizations and member countries in Africa in managing their natural resources. These commitments came at the end of a 4-day symposium in Freetown on illicit natural resource trade and resource bank loan. The governance of natural resources in transition states Gonats project focuses on improving natural resource governance in fragile and transition states, including Sierra Leone. Cynthia Kenema witnessed a closing session and now reports.
Over 35 representatives from senior government officials, the private sector, civil society, local communities, and other critical stakeholders in Sierra Leone has recognized the Gonats Declaration and call to action. The participant emphasized the urgent need to harness Africa's wealth, curb illicit financial flows and illegal trade in natural resources, and improve management of resource bank loans for resilience, growth, and development in Africa. They emphasized that despite its abundant natural resources, Sierra Leone faces considerable challenges in translating its mineral wealth into sustainable development outcomes. Participants cited issues persisting within the extractive sector, including corruption, weak regulatory frameworks, and inadequate enforcement of laws and regulations. They called for the continent's abundant natural resources and essential ecosystem, which are contributing 62% of its GDP, to be harnessed for accelerating sustainable development on the continent.
Legislative framework so that we can actually heighten our oversight role as MPs. Remember, we have a rule of representation, we have a rule of making good and workable laws, and also have a rule of oversights. And all of this encompasses in 3 things: seeking the interests of the state, number 1, in the guidance of our natural resources. seeking the interest of our mining community people and seeking the interest of the investor too.
So quickly.
Especially in the mining sector, we have started mining since 1930, and up till now, there's a lot of challenges in mining communities are suffering. The mining activity is not paying much, and the country itself is not proud of whatever resources they are generating. So I think it's timely because we need to start to re-strategize as a country. We need to start to think of the different activities we have been doing, evaluate ourselves, and maybe try to make sure that we put on some robust, activity that will give
continent. In the policy dialogue, participants acknowledged that Africa holds 30% of the world's mineral resources and 65% of the world's uncultivated arable land, the world's most productive forest, both in timber and carbon retention resources, and ample solar, wind, and hydropower. They recommended for the need to improve regulatory frameworks, enhancing legal and institutional frameworks, enhancing transparency, promoting community participation, adopting technology, improving revenue sharing, implementing third-party verification, establishing clear licensing criteria, leveraging international corruption among frameworks, tax reforms, and strengthening anti-corruption measures. Certificates were given to participants after the 4 days training session. For SABC News, Cynthia Kamara reporting.
The International Organization for Migration, IOM, with the government and development partners, have validated the Global Compact for Migration and National Implementation Plan. The validation coincided with the establishment of a national coordination mechanism following extensive consultations and expert reviews. Let's join Esther Nenekama for more on that story.
So on behalf of the Ministry of Youth Affairs, on behalf of MOPED, MLGCA, and that of MOES, we want to endorse this document and to tell you that, yes, it's an inflection of our voices, and indeed, we are grateful. Thank you so much.
After a series of technical reviews and stakeholder consultations, the Global Compact for Migration, GCM, and the National Implementation Plan, NIP documents have been officially validated. The validation ceremony, which coincided with the establishment of a national coordination mechanism, was to create a clear roadmap for effective execution of the said documents. The move marks a significant milestone in Sierra Leone's commitment to promoting safe, orderly, and regular migration. Officer in charge, IOM, Pauline Machaya, said the NIP and NCM are strategic blueprints to the benefit of migration while addressing its challenges. She said both documents align with national development priorities, regional frameworks, and international commitments in ensuring that no one is left behind.
Today's validation meeting marks a significant milestone in translating this global commitment into concrete nationally owned actions that are tailored to respond to the migration issues in Sierra Leone, but also to foster national and international cooperation with our partners on migration management.
Deputy Development Secretary, Ministry of Planning and Economic Development, Osman Cherry Conte, emphasized the importance of inclusive migration strategies and the need for coordinated action across all relevant sectors, adding that the NCM will serve as a multi-sectoral platform for regular dialogue, policy formulation, and program monitoring.
Today's validation, therefore, is not a routine exercise. It is a pivotal step forward in ensuring that our commitments under the Global Compact are translated into actionable programs, measurable outcomes, and institutionalized mechanisms for governance.
The validated implementation plan outlines key priorities including migrant rights, migration data systems, and the protection of vulnerable migrants. With the roadmap now in place, stakeholders say the next steps will focus on resource mobilization, capacity building, and sustained interagency coordination. The successful validation of the GCM National Implementation Plan and National Coordination Mechanism represents a vital step in ensuring that migration contributes positively to Sierra Leone's development goals. For SLBC, Esther Nene Kamara reporting.
To bridge the divide between CSOs and security sector, UNDP and its partners have ended a 3-day engagement in Freetown on strengthened civil society engagement with the security sector. According to UNDP's governance team lead, Kadi, there has been a missing link between CSOs and the security sector. Moses Conte has more.
According to the UNDP's governance team lead, Kadi, there are no civil society working with the security sector, neither are those to hold the security sector to account, adding that the essence was to bridge the gap between the civil society organizations and the security sector.
So the role of civil society, what it would be, and also the role of the security sector, how they work together to ensure we have a peaceful Sierra Leone. So we are hoping that at least they'll be designing programs that will look at how we can hold the security sector to account, how we can build trust between the communities and the security sector, what sort of structures and mechanisms to put in place to ensure accountability, right? So if a soldier or a police does something, who do we hold to account?
According to Mohamed Yoki, representing the Ministry of Internal Affairs, civil society organizations play a vital role in society. Thus, CSOs should not only be considered as beneficiaries, but equal partners in the security sector, adding that security policy should not be developed in isolation. During the engagement, participants were taken through security sector's reforms and governance processes, the role of CSOs in security sector reforms and governance in Sierra Leone, looking at the correctional service and the transition of the Sierra Leone police into police service. Participants called the engagement timely while pointing out that beside their key roles to complement government, they also serve as intermediaries between the people and government. They call on authorities to allow civil society organizations to feel free in doing their work effectively and efficiently.
When it comes to the watchdog role, that's where the challenge is. And as civil society organization, it's our role to play the watchdog role and to be effective and efficient, to ensure that the right thing is done in the interest of the state. This empowers us more to understand that nobody's above the law in doing our work. Accountability also was mentioned. That is the responsibility of all sectors to give account of what they are doing, and they should do it in a transparent way and efficient way.
The training aimed at addressing conflict prevention and crisis management, security sector reform and human rights, electoral support and democratic transitions, while strengthening ECOWAS peace and training institutions, among others. Moses Conte, SLBC.
The president of the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, Dr. George Adjekun-Donko, has met with the ECOWAS chairman, President Julius Maada Bio, at State House. The talks focus on key regional issues on economic growth, food security, education, and trade. Our State House correspondent, Amosei, has more on that story.
Dr. George Adjekun-Donko is in Sierra Leone on a 2-day working visit. His delegation has already held meetings with several ministries, including the Office of the Chief Minister. At State House, President Julius Maada Bio warmly welcomed the team. He said the region needs support not only in infrastructure, but also in schools, healthcare, and food systems.
I know there are outstanding areas, there are outstanding issues, but we want to deepen this relationship because as your resource base broadens and as we push for more regional integration, there are opportunities that we want to take advantage of. So I'm happy that you've come, and I hope that we'll be able to identify specific things and engage fully and stay engaged through the Minister of Finance, Development, and the others so that we can fully realize the scope of issues that we are going to raise.
President Bio encouraged the ECOWAS Bank team to work closely with all member states to deliver meaningful change.
Because it is the only dividend for democracy is development. If you can deliver on development, your people can see it. We want to campaign for that, for the future of our children and for West Africa. The potential is great, but the potential is not what counts. It is what you do with the potential. And the bank is a great instrument in changing that potential to deliverables for our people, which is what they feed on.
Dr. Donko congratulates President Bio on his role as ECOWAS chair. He praised the president's leadership and vision for regional integration. He assured the ECOWAS Bank's commitment to supporting projects, especially in education and health.
We are aware of the road project, that is the National Road Infrastructure Fund. We are aware of the Hilton Hotel. We are aware of the various initiatives being initiated by the Minister for Tourism. As you are very much aware, Your Excellency, next year you will be boosting the ECOWAS. Because you have a big responsibility to ensure that we have the requisite infrastructure to support these programs. And that is why we are here. We are also aware of the Kono University, as the Chief Minister mentioned in our meeting. We have gone far, but there are a few things that we have to discuss in order to actually conclude this. And I think that the working sessions will see to that. Because of your time, we really want to actually bore you with all these issues since the ministers are around. But I want to assure you that all these issues will be taken on board during our 2 days here to ensure that we come out with firm conclusions.